9 investigators learned the One Pulse Foundation received an insurance payout before the Pulse property was sold to the city of Orlando. What the former owner told us, how that $1 million payout was spent. Live next.
You might already know the day's headlines.
But on WFTV tonight, we give you the newest take on the day's biggest stories, showing you all sides.
So you know why it matters to you.
WFTV tonight, weeknights at 10 on TV 27.
Get local breaking news alerts when you download the Channel 9 News app.
On WFTV tonight, new questions surrounding a criminal investigation into Orlando Commissioner Regina Hill.
I'm aware that there has been an ongoing FDLE investigation.
We're digging into discrepancies in this document that gave the commissioner some of her control over a 96-year-old constituent's property and finances.
Do you recognize that document?
No.
Plus, body cam video capturing the arrest of 2 people passed out on Daytona Beach.
Don't wake up, guys. Hey.
The mother's 2 children nowhere in sight.
Tell me where your kids are.
Coming up, this man's brazen getaway attempt that ended with him face down in the sand and unconscious. And then what we're learning about an officer-involved shooting in Port Orange. Police say a knife-wielding suspect was gunned down after charging at officers.
But unfortunately, the individual succumbed to his injuries.
This is WFTV Tonight.
And we begin with new details in that deadly officer-involved shooting. Port Orange police say they were responding to reports of a suicidal person when a man ran at officers with that knife. Good evening, I'm Greg Wormuth. All of this unfolded this afternoon near Central Park Boulevard and Spruce Creek Road. Police say they were forced to shoot the man after he refused to follow commands and dropped the weapon. Our Rafael Pires joins us live after speaking with neighbors near the shooting scene. And Rafael, what did they tell you?
Yeah, so neighbors say the man who was shot has lived in that same house for more than 20 years. They say he's a great guy, a great neighbor, and they were stunned to hear what happened. So the Florida Department of Law Enforcement is now taking over this investigation. As for the officer who opened fire, we are told he's been with the department for about 2 years. He is now on paid administrative leave, as is standard in this type of situation. As of right now, police have not released the name of the man who was killed. For now, reporting in Port Orange, I'm Rafael Pires, WFTV Tonight.
Turning now to the criminal investigation into Orlando City Commissioner Regina Hill. She's accused of stealing more than $100,000 from an elderly constituent and spending it on items like perfume and a facelift. We first broke this story yesterday on Eyewitness News at 6 when we showed you legal documents and affidavits. They claim that Hill took out mortgages in a 96-year-old woman's name without her consent. And now a document that gave the commissioner some of her alleged power over that woman is being questioned as well. Only Channel 9's Nick Pampantona spoke to the notary whose official stamp and signature appear on the document. WFTV Tonight has learned the investigation into Hill began after a former aide filed suit for that alleged violation of the state's Whistleblower Act in 2023, claiming the commissioner then tormented her. The suit claims the former aide was terminated in February of last year after she said she complained in a memo to Mayor Buddy Dyer. In it, Jacqueline Cockerham said she was working in a hostile work environment and she should be paid overtime for long hours, and she was being asked to work those hours. Cockerham also said she was removed from her position and told she would have to accept an alternate position paying considerably less than she was earning. Thereafter, she was terminated via a memorandum dated January 11th, 2023, with an effective date of February 11th, 2023. An investigation initiated by the city looked into allegations and cleared the commissioner at that time. In other news tonight, we are getting a look at this incredible body cam video capturing the arrest of a Georgia couple vacationing in Central Florida. According to the Volusia County Sheriff's Office, deputies found them passed out on Daytona Beach while they were supposed to be watching a 5 and 7-year-old. Daryl Matthews explains where those children were found by investigators and what happened when this man tried to make a break for it. The couple was arrested for child neglect and having alcohol on the beach. They were both released the next day. The kids were taken into DCF custody until a family member could pick them both up. There is a new warning tonight for spring breakers along our Volusia County coast. Don't use illegal drugs because they could be laced with deadly amounts of fentanyl. According to the Attorney General and Volusia County Sheriff, traces of fentanyl have been showing up in younger and younger kids. People across the state can get Narcan for free now at participating Walmart pharmacy locations through the Attorney General's Helping Heroes program. That nasal spray can reverse an opioid overdose. WFTV tonight has obtained documents accusing the Holly Hill police chief of harassment more than a decade ago. In 2012, a female employee claimed she was passed up for a promotion because she wouldn't perform sexual acts. However, those allegations were ultimately unfounded. Just last week, we told you about a different investigation into inappropriate incident involving the chief, a captain, and a sergeant. The chief resigned and the captain and sergeant were both suspended. However, as Volusia County reporter Demi Johnson explains, that investigation has not been made public yet. Earlier tonight, as expected, former President Donald Trump won the Republican presidential primary in Florida. He and President Joe Biden are the only remaining major candidates, of course, in their respective parties' primaries, having clinched the 2024 Republican and Democratic nominations last week. However, candidates that have already dropped out of the race were still on Florida's ballot today, and that includes Governor Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley. According to ABC News, about 4% of Florida voters cast ballots for the governor, DeSantis, and 14% did so for Nikki Haley. Beyond the top of today's ticket, there were also dozens of municipal races and charter questions in cities and towns across the state. Well, still ahead, we are 2 days away from the next launch from our Space Coast, what SpaceX is preparing to send up to the International Space Station. Plus, the warning for parents to keep two types of water beads away from their children. After the break, the companies that have refused to comply with that recall.
And we're less than an hour away now from starting spring officially in Central Florida, but we're doing it on a chilly note. In fact, this will likely be one of our colder mornings for months to come. That's just ahead.
Sky Witness 9 on Channel 9 Eyewitness News, bringing you closer to the scene during live breaking news. Sponsored by Attorney Dan Newland. First in breaking news.
Commissioner Hill is accused of taking advantage of a 96-year-old woman.
Uncovering every detail.
The allegations in this paperwork include taking money more than $100,000.
With complete team coverage.
The authorities came to this door behind me last week and told Commissioner Hill to get out.
Were you aware of the investigation into Commissioner Hill?
I'm aware that there has been an ongoing FDLE investigation.
Channel 9 Eyewitness News. Breaking news coverage you can count on.
Covering our Space Coast this Thursday, SpaceX plans to launch its 30th commercial resupply mission to the International Space Station. Melanie Holt explains what will be making the trip on the Falcon 9 rockets. Good shots of the beach there. Today on the beach, you would have needed a blanket instead of a towel.
Yeah, well, today was the coolest afternoon we're going to have for a while at the beach. Tonight will be the chilliest night we're going to have, and we're just almost right on the edge here of ending winter.
Yeah.
Spring starts officially at 11:06. It's on the 19th of March this year, about a day or so earlier because we had a leap year. So we had an extra day in February, so it bumped it up. Right now we're 55 at Orlando with a light east-northeast wind. It's a cool night tonight. It's going to be on the chillier side all the way through daybreak in the morning. Already 40s to the north, low 50s for Ocala and Sanford at 52. Out west of Orlando, Horizon and Winter Garden, we're going to be back in the upper 40s. And again, this will likely be the last time until later this fall before we actually get down into the temperatures that we're going to see early in the morning. 36 in Citra. Could see some patchy frost there. Ocala, Denell, and 39, 40 in Bellevue, and about 41 for Wildwood and Coleman. Overnight tonight, most of us in the 40s, and that again is the low point for this cold front. Then we start warming temperatures back up, including over at Daytona, where it was chilly only in the 50s for most of the day today. About a 10-degree warm up for tomorrow, getting back up into the low 70s, about 75, 77 That's just shy of the average, which is getting pretty close to 80 this time of the year. Over in Palm Bay, 73 tomorrow, 78 on Thursday, and very low rain probabilities here until we get to Friday, but I don't think it's going to be a washout for your day. Here's a look at the Euro model showing the clouds increasing on Thursday, then Friday morning, dark and early. Here comes some showers from the Gulf of Mexico. However, what we're going to be watching is a storm system in the Gulf of Mexico. See all these bright colors? That's going to be some heavier showers and storms, but it looks like it's going to stay down south of us. If this is not etched in stone, this storm hasn't even developed yet, much less moved across and come closer to us. But it looks like the trend will keep this to the south, or at least just south of Orlando. So that's what we're going to be watching as the system organizes. But Friday, still relatively high probability you get rain, primarily in the morning and early afternoon. It looks like the heavier stuff will be down in South Florida. Saturday, still a few passing showers. We'll talk more about that. And then we start to warm back up again. Greg, we'll talk more about why I think this is probably the last go-round for these chilly mornings coming up.
All right, thanks. When we come back, a warning about water beads after 2 companies ignored recall orders.
They need to do the right thing. You're putting every other child at risk.
What the Consumer Product Safety Commission is urging parents to do after previous health scares linked to these toys.
Weather from Severe Weather Center 9 is brought to you by the law offices of Attorney Dan Newland.
The Consumer Product Safety Commission has issued an urgent warning. They're asking parents to immediately throw away 2 types of toy water beads. 9 Investigates first told you about these toys in December of 2022 and how it landed an Ormond Beach toddler in surgery. After our story, the commission ordered recalls. But as Ashlyn Webb reports, 2 Chinese manufacturers are not cooperating. The commission says if you have one of these water bead sets, immediately throw the product away. High schoolers in one local county had the chance to earn a degree for free. Coming up, the students who qualify for that no-cost tuition. Plus, why detectives say they need the public's help to try and figure out why a wife is accused of shooting and killing her husband of 15 years. And 9 Investigates obtained documents that show the One Pulse Foundation received an insurance payout of $1 million+ before the Pulse property was then sold to Orlando. After the break, what former owner Barbara Poma told us about that $1 million payout and where that money went.
It's a privilege to be Central Florida's chief meteorologist. It's something that I take internally. We pool all of our resources here in Severe Weather Center 9 to give you the latest advanced warning on a storm. I try to get every day right, and I won't stop. I'm here to keep you safe.
New details tonight in an ongoing saga surrounding the One Pulse Foundation and the former owners of the club. Emails and insurance documents show how much money was paid out before the city agreed to spend $2 million for the property. Investigative reporter Ashlyn Webb obtained emails that the former owner sent to the One Pulse Foundation. The mayor and commissioners, including Sheehan, said that the Poma's asking price was $2 million and they felt they had to settle and agree to buy the property if there ever was going to be a memorial built there. A Flagler County man is accused of stabbing a man and attacking another person after a religious debate at a gas station. Deputies say Hunter DeThoreau got upset while talking to the 2 victims. It happened after a discussion of religion Sunday night at the Circle K gas station on Palm Harbor Parkway. That's when they say DeThoreau started hitting one of the men and then stabbed the other man. Both victims left the scene and called 911 once they got back to their home.
And I thought I just got hit.
Hang on, buddy. Let me get gloves on, okay?
I think I got stabbed 3 times.
Deputies say DeThoreau ran away from that scene. He was later arrested at his home on 2 counts of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. And tonight he's being held on a $300,000 bond. Only WFTV Tonight told you about a woman, 57-year-old Deborah Hodge. She's the Orange County caregiver accused of kidnapping an adult patient with severe disabilities from the Quest Learning Facility in Apopka. Today we learned Hodge was arrested for the death of that victim's sister. That woman was found dead in Hodge's group home last July. Hodge is now facing several charges, including aggravated manslaughter of a disabled adult and neglect of a disabled adult. Detectives say Maria Rodriguez shot and killed 40-year-old Andrew Rodriguez Sunday night at their home in Claremont. Investigators say witnesses told them she was acting strangely and was talking about having premonitions. Channel 9's Giovanni Diaz spoke to police as they think the woman may have been struggling with her mental health. Lake County investigators also told us moments before the shooting, Maria left the home briefly. They believe she got a ride with someone, so now they're trying to find who that person is and if they have any connection to that shooting. Well, lawmakers now have until Friday night to strike a deal to avoid a government shutdown again. Congressional leaders say they're getting closer to an agreement, but it's possible a vote won't be able to happen until this coming weekend. And a shutdown could force the IRS to furlough thousands of workers, potentially disrupting your tax filing. It could also impact travel, as air traffic controllers and most TSA workers would be required to temporarily work without pay. Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security will all continue to run as usual because they are funded separately. Right now, there is a new proposal to make it more affordable to own a home. The White House is calling on Congress to pass a proposal. That measure would support building an additional 2 million homes. It would also crack down on junk fees and reduce closing costs. At a recent hearing, industry experts blamed a chronic housing shortage for pricing people out of the market. Critics worry the proposals could make the housing crisis even worse, but that legislation faces a tough road ahead in the Republican-controlled House. In a call, President Biden made clear to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu he believes it would be a mistake to invade Rafah, where 1.5 million displaced Palestinians are sheltering. ABC's Matt Gutman reports the two are speaking for the first time in more than a month. The CDC is warning about an increase in measles cases in the U.S. and abroad. So far, nearly 60 cases have been confirmed in 17 states. That's the total number of cases reported just last year. Health officials say nearly all of this year's cases have been linked to international travel. Most of the cases were children not vaccinated with MMR vaccine. The CDC is urging any child over 6 months old to get that first dose of the vaccine.
When kids have one vaccine in, we're talking about a 93% efficacy in protection against the measles. When they have two vaccines themselves, we go up to 95 to 97% efficacy.
The highly contagious measles virus can out of 10 unvaccinated people. Some places with lower vaccination rates are at a higher risk of an entire measles outbreak. What to expect for this year's Puerto Rican Parade and Festival. Up next, how people are getting involved. Tom.
Well, back in the 30s for some of us early on in the morning. I'll be talking more about how long it could be before we get temperatures this cold again.
Preparations are fully underway for this year's Puerto Rican Parade and Festival next month. Last year, thousands of folks packed downtown for the annual festival, and today, Channel 9's Sabrina Majore found out what's in store for this year's fun. Kirsten Delgado will be out along the parade route with Sabrina and Alexa Lorenzo, and you can join us for live coverage on April 27th. It starts at 11 a.m. right over on Channel 9. Always fun. Well, Osceola County's 2024 graduating high school seniors will get a chance now to enroll in college for free. During last night's county commission meeting, commissioners unanimously voted to approve $8.3 million in funding for the Osceola Prosper program. That program is going into its third year and will allow students to enroll at Valencia College or Osceola Technical College free of charge.
Not all kids are going to go to college, and we need those trades. We need those trades very badly, and that's why we support both Valencia Advanced Manufacturing, and OTEC, which is our Osceola Technical College.
Students who enroll in either college under this program will have tuition and fees paid up until graduation as long as enrollment is part or full-time by the spring of 2025. Boeing just reached a major milestone on its path to launch its first crewed flight to the International Space Station aboard the Starliner spacecraft. Fueling operations are underway for a May flight test tonight. Once teams finish that process, they'll complete closeout activities and prepare the Starliner for its flight with veteran NASA astronauts Sonny Williams and Butch Wilmore. They'll spend up to 2 weeks at the space station evaluating the Starliner and its systems for future missions to the ISS and beyond under NASA's Commercial Crew program.
Getting rolling over there.
Yeah, got a lot of different pieces and parts moving around to get us to the moon and then on to Mars.
Yeah, we've got some big changes coming in our temperatures. Tonight, though, it is noticeably cooler.
Burr rabbits.
But it felt good to me this morning, and it's still on the cool side tonight. We are 20 degrees cooler over the last 24 hours. It was considerably warmer last night, in other words, minus 21 in DeLand. So it is chilly, the last chill likely for a while. As I talked a little bit about in the last weather, tonight back in the 40s, and not just in Marion County. We're talking just about everybody getting into the 40s, and the next time we're likely to have 40s this widespread is likely going to be November, about 8 months down the road. Once we get to late March, then into April, the days are longer. The sun is more directly overhead. It's just warmer. It's just really hard to get this chilly once we click over into April. And this is going to be the last big cool down we're going to have for the month of March. We'll have more fronts, but not this cool. So that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. And knock on wood, we won't jinx it. Looks like it's going to warm up here. 42 in Geneva in the morning, 44 in Longwood, some 30s north and west, but 40s for Metro Orlando. So spring begins here at 11:06 tonight, and this again will be our last morning in the 40s for the area for a while. Rain likely on Friday. A couple of storms mainly to our south and a few showers passing on Saturday, but overall just kind of a breezy weekend coming up. Mount Dora, you start cool in the morning, back into the mid-70s for highs tomorrow, about 77 Sanford, all the way down through Kissimmee and St. Cloud. Here's a look at the American GFS model showing clouds mainly for Thursday, then showers moving in a little bit later. Some of our other models are showing rain as early as daybreak on Friday. The American model is just a little bit later. It also shows a little bit better chance for some locally heavy downpours during the afternoon on Friday, but the bulk of the heavy rain still looks like it's going to shift more toward South Florida. And this is a look at the amount of lightning. This is the European model, but you can see how the lightning pretty much stays over the Gulf of Mexico. So we're expecting to see maybe a rumble of thunder or two, but showers will dominate Friday with a 70% chance that you get measurable rain on Friday across the area. Saturday, scattered showers as a storm system moves away. We'll keep the breeze around. If you want warmer weather, I'm looking at next week, 85 by Tuesday. Alex?
With a win tonight against the Hornets, the Magic can at the very least lock up a spot in the Eastern Conference play-in tournament. Highlights, reaction, all the good stuff from the Kia Center when we come back.
Download the WFTV weather app. Get a localized forecast from Tom Terry. Just search WFTV. Brought to you by the law offices of Attorney Dan Newland.
Involved in a car accident? Call me now, 407-888-8000.
The Orlando Magic have the chance to do something tonight they haven't done in 4 years. Lock up a spot in the playoffs. The Magic are currently the 5 seed in the Eastern Conference, so a top 6 seed is still in play. But at the very least, a win tonight against the Hornets guarantees a spot in the play-in tournament. Guys, we'll have those extended highlights at 11, but for now, back to you.
Yeah, when I checked the score, I was like, uh-oh, not good. And now Alex has got me fired up.
Well, my daughter Katie over at USF, I'm sure she's...
Looks like a fun time over there.
She's having a good time. Here's what's going on in the morning. We've got another chilly start. We'll be in the upper 40s early on in the morning. Temperatures warming back up gradually into the low to mid 50s, eventually low 60s by 11 a.m. Back to the mid to upper 70s for daytime highs tomorrow. So beautiful weather here tonight. Also, we start spring here at 11:06. So 12 minutes.
Yeah.
10 minutes.
And our last final dash, hopefully, for some who like it warm, of winter.
I'm running out of fire pit hours.
Yeah.
They're literally counting down.
I do have some wood I need to get rid of, though.
I got a whole bunch.
Yeah, maybe by this weekend I can get it out.
I think so.
Yeah. Why not? Turn the air conditioner on, start the fire.
I'll be here Saturday.
Finish it off. Oh, okay. We'll be watching. Take care.